Hello everybody. How's it going today? Hopefully everybody's doing fine. Yeah, I have no control over those stupid ads. Wish I did, but I don't. So, how's it going? Alright, I need to jump quickly when I do that. Outside of your ears, and the assault that Amazon just conducted on him. How's everybody doing? There I am. Hi. So, I think I had to do some screwing around with my camera yesterday, so I may have to move it. We'll see. Nothing like making changes live. So I thought I was going to be alone today, and then at the last second, Jealous Mike popped up. Everyone say hello, Jealous Mike.
Hello, Jealous Mike. Sorry, the delay is mostly my fault. I mean, Slob's too, but mostly my fault.
Yeah, for some reason, Slobs decided we want to run an update at this exact moment. You couldn't do it earlier. So, I won't keep you guys staring at my face for too long. So, alright. Yeah.
Oh, what is that screen? That's Endless Space.
Mm-hmm.
Thought you were playing City Skyline.
Well, the thing shouldn't say City Skylines anymore. I updated it.
No, it doesn't know, so it wasn't playing.
Hey, you know what? I was planning on building roads today and talking about my creative project, and then, well, you decided, hey, I'm gonna get up, and I'm gonna run. I'm gonna go as fast as I possibly can to get here. So I need to actually edit the camera because it got me sitting off to the side. And I'm not really sure.
Oh, why. I love my PC.
Oh, how fast it can start? Well, it's not.
How fast everything starts. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just.
Yeah,
like,
mine.
I want something to be done. Okay, boom, there it is.
Yeah, I usually don't worry about. I know what the problem is. A little bit. I'm gonna go up to. Put a light on back there. I'll be right.
Okay, yeah, so
Everything's all out of whack today.
as he's getting that straightened up. Oh, voice meter, yeah. Kidding. My sleep has almost a week now turned into, hey, it's nighttime, don't sleep. Hey, it's daytime, time to sleep. Which is why I wasn't at our Tuesday, and I've been trying to bump that. So I went to bed to ensure that I could get a 3-hour nap and be up for this, but then my upstairs neighbor decided, well, the apartment complex decided that it was time to do a little bit of construction work on the upstairs apartment. And don't get me wrong, I live in a really nice apartment complex. They're great about things like not waking people up. Except that, hey, nobody is asleep at 10 in the morning. Yeah, so I was going to ask who you wanted to play.
I'm trying to decide.
I really enjoyed playing the Stofons, man. They're science, and they're not really this way by default, but science and militarism were by far my biggest factions.
I mean, I like the Sophons, but I just got I was getting my butt handed to me in our other game.
That was Horatio, who isn't supposed to be aggressive. He seems like
Now, this was who was Lamaris. Lamaris is who was coming after me.
Oh, Her too. She's like super peaceful. Actually, Horatio. I thought it was Horatio. I'm sorry.
Nope. So yeah, I'm deciding.
I mean, you can be. I switched to Sophons because you were United Empire for a second.
No, I'll be the Sophons again. I don't want to be red. There we go. I'll be light blue. Okay. Everything else set?
Yeah. So
ready. Oh, Jackson, I'm glad you fixed your sound.
Yes. I bumped the game difficulty down to easy.
That's for my sake because I was having a heck of a time last time.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. Hello. We're just stomping. Hello.
And all I did was fly a ship by her space.
Yeah. I want to switch that to. Oh, she's already there. Who's not there then? Oh, Cravers.
Oh, I don't know what we're waiting on at this point. Him. We're waiting on him.
Yeah. I thought that we had a double in the civilizations in the empires.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, so I feel like I actually learned the game. I've played one game now where I won. It feels like I won by accident. I just happened to join the right alliance. But then this next game that I can play by myself, I feel like I've got a really good grasp of it. So Ryan met the sicky sick. No, you're the sicky sick now.
He was the sicky sick.
Oh, that's right. He had.
And he passed the sicky sick to her because he was contagious. Okay, so
my lesson from last time.
What is it with me being on the outside of the galaxy? I am way out on the edge.
Okay, so I am on the north edge, further to the right than you. So we're in our respective centers of quadrants 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
My lesson from last time is I've got to research colonization before like anything else. You know, how to colonize other planets.
We have a hero. And he's a youngling. So
A youngling.
gonna have to leave him there. Oh well, actually, how about if I... No, go back to that screen. Stop it. Yes.
Oh, did you already send your fleet out?
Yes, and so I'm sending him out separately to join them rather than bring them back. There we go. He'll join them there. So get that, and yeah, see, I'm the sickly sick. I'm the sickly sick. Eden, luxury resource, drift buds. Not that I would need these things too.
They have crammed the cold, rocky home
It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. It's something that doesn't. It's irritating that it seems like you should be able to use them right away, but you can't until you get some scientific progress done. It's like you can't do anything with them right away. Not for a bit. But yeah, so researching the stupid. It's in science and exploration, the different colonize this planet, colonize that planet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, that makes such a big difference. Just be able to drop a bunch of colonies.
Oh, and the research tree?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Oh, that's what I'm looking for now, all of those.
Yeah, it's like the more colonies I can get put out, the faster.
The more you can put
like
out?
Actually, the more I can put out, the happier I am.
You said it.
I know.
Okay, that's enough for now. That's 4. I'm gonna let them think. Yeah.
Which did you start with?
Which one did I start with?
Mm-hmm. Forms.
I didn't think about it. Arid.
Oh no, pre-scale.
Pep scale accelerators. And then... Yeah, I didn't think.
That's good. So I can't even do that yet.
Yeah, see, Arid is in... I have an Arid planet in my system, so that's why I picked that one.
Mm.
Before I do anything else, I'm colonizing the other planets.
Yeah, that's what I'm... Oh, wow, that's nice. You have 3 to start.
3 to start, plus once I research my first one, I'll have a 4th one.
Yeah. That's really nice.
Yeah. Okay.
I already have a detrimental anomaly on one of my home planets, home system planets. It's fine.
I'm sorry.
But I did start with 2 that I could colonize, so that's happy days. What did I start with? Eden Essence? Right. Dmitry Lenko. Wait. Oh, I did the same mistake as you did. I didn't assign my hero to the fleet yet. Create fleets.
Gotta assign him. Gotta assign him.
Yeah.
Or he's useless.
Right. Head up that way, bud. Dude, there you go. I'm going to start my explorations over towards you.
Well, not. Why is there? Oh, there's a constellation over here that I can see. Constellation.
If it only shows one, then that should be the one you're in. So you're in the northern tip of the constellation. It looks like there's probably going to be a constellation.
So that must be a massive constellation.
Yeah.
If it stretches from where I am up on the northwest corner of the northwest circle, like.
Well, it'll be long and skinny.
Really?
I'm not familiar with long and skinny.
Sure, you are
that
not.
Short, man.
Short and stout?
Like a tuna can.
Ugh.
All right. Laws. Do I want to have another law right now? I don't think so. Not yet. Oh, I am tempted to throw that science one in. Ooh, it just makes your people unhappy. Cram exam.
Cram exam one? They don't like that one?
Well, you lose happiness, yeah. Contentment.
Ah, who needs happiness?
Work, scientists.
Aren't these all robots anyway?
Not mine. And not yours.
I meant
either.
mine.
They're just in biosuits. Although why they have to be in biosuits on their own planet, who the heck knows?
I just don't think they ever show them out of them, because that would require more art.
That's true. Yeah, I guess if the artist wanted to do. gonna mute myself because I have a sneeze coming.
Bless you. Lush eye. Nothing there. Okay. So we'll go this way. And I must be orbiting a star system. Never mind. I saw it already. Go away. No more. Okay, take your turn.
Indeed. So I have your militant cousins, the Mavros, next to me.
I have nothing. We have nothing to do with them. You know, they're just a part of the family.
It's okay. They're pragmatic shipbuilders, but it's also an opportunity for a free colony. So, let's see. So the reason why you couldn't do anything besides just meet them is because there's a tech. Let me see which tech it is.
Oh, it's a pretty planet.
Talk. Do more just. Okay, here we go. So in the first level of empire development is one called off-world agribusiness. As soon as you meet a minor empire, that's one that you'll want to get researched.
Mm-hmm. Find the anomalies. Titanium. And on the other one. Garden of Eden. Nice.
Oh, wow.
Close to everything.
Holy crap. Yeah. Oh, my word. That's going to be a fantastic colony.
Revive and build battle tactic. Okay. Cool. So, and the second thing I have, the second type of planet I have set to research, the terraform, is in this system.
Oh, good. The Savannah.
Yes.
I also discovered that you can terraform all the way to either forest or terran. The big distinction is forest gives you more, just a slight bit more production.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what the offset is. I think it's research. Terran gives you slightly more research. Forest gives you slightly more production. Otherwise, they're pretty identical. But I don't like it's counterintuitive because you have to go from like a steppes or a savanna. You have to terraform to a monsoon to get there. Well, I guess that makes sense. You have to make it wet. Dang it!
Yes.
No comment.
Hmm?
No comment.
No. I wasn't paying attention.
No, that's fine. I'm not saying it again.
That's okay. It's on stream. I can go listen to it later.
It was just a good. That's what she said.
Okay, so.
Okay.
Yeah, finished attack. Yay for us.
And how?
That last planet in the thing.
So did you drop a
Colony ship.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Well, the one that has the one that has Garden of Eden is it's tundra. I can't do it yet.
Yeah. That's okay.
But I do have an outpost set, started in that system.
On the Terran one.
Yeah, the large Terran one. And in 3 turns, I'll be able to add one to the Savannah.
So I am able to,
The planet
once you get some more
Psychoja.
tech,
Mm-hmm.
not yet, but once you get some more tech, I can help you do the ship designs pretty quickly.
So I found the planet Psychagoja.
Oh,
Lushly forested world,
Sounds
once a major center of the endless. Oddly, it was a center of both. It was a center both of medical research and of entertainment. For it was here that the avian race called the Hisho were first modified to be more effective warriors, and then trained to provide blood sport spectacles for bored audiences.
ooh.
The wealth brought by the broadcast was rolled back into the research facilities and some to the Hisho themselves. Who knows how long this media symbiosis might have gone on, had a virtual attack not destroyed the infrastructure and cut the Hisho free to forge their own destiny. So, unique planet, colonizable, monsoon. Sejanus 2, Arctic, currently inhospitable. Sejanus 3, large Arctic, also inhospitable. For the moment.
For the moment. I have yet to figure out. I don't think you can terraform gas giants, but I haven't.
You should be able to
exactly
put
done
things in
that.
orbit around them. You know, like build things in
You
orbit.
can. There's a bunch of different things you can do with them. You can build like research laboratories. You can build habitation platforms.
I'm going to slide an incubator in here after the second colony pops in 2 turns so that I can get that ship
it's your
going.
colony ship. Yeah.
Well, so yeah, because I can get it off to that planet and get it started. So it's going to take longer for that planet to do that than it would be to have the other ones wait a
Yeah.
turn or 2. Assign skills.
Level up. So with the heroes, if you see, I don't think you can see it from there, but I think he's an overseer. But so you could, different heroes have different strength. Like
He's
there's
a
some that are gonna.
he's a senator. And
Okay,
a counselor.
so he's gonna.
He's a
end up
he's a
being-
counselor.
He's gonna end up being super limited as a fleet person.
Yeah, I'm just letting him experience.
Yeah, which is always good. I think the guy that I start with is also a counselor. Need to remember that as an upgrade. Yeah, he's a counselor.
There for now.
Objective choice. Oh, I have rebels. Of course, I have rebels. I'm an imperial I'm an imperial dictator. Actually, this is a democracy. It's odd.
So I should warn everybody. About halfway through my normal stream time, Zoe is supposed to be released from school. Odds are she won't be home until almost the end of stream, but she might come walking in. It said 1:30 release, and that's halfway through my stream, so and it usually takes 40 minutes for the bus to get them here. I'm guessing she won't be here until. Orbit around 2 systems in a different constellation? Ugh, how long do I have to do this?
If you don't have a turn timer on it, which it looks like you don't, it's a forever one, as long as it takes.
What's free move?
Sofon free move is the most powerful engine type I've seen until you get to anti-engines. They're way powerful. So if you want exploration, if you want maneuverability,
That's the one I'm going for.
I just got a new engine type, so I need to update my ships.
Expedition failed.
Oh.
No, you can't win them all, right?
Mm-hmm. Construction complete. Research complete. Alright, how are you guys coming along? Oh, another way you can bump your diplomatic relations with minor civs. So there's that one tech. Once you meet somebody, there's that one tech that you can praise them.
Mm-hmm.
And then after you meet them, after you introduce yourself, back up. Make sure you introduce yourself before you explore any curiosities in their system, because that'll also give you a small boost with them. And then as that grows, you'll get to the point where you unlock an assist mission for them.
Mm-hmm.
And once you've completed the assist mission, the assist quest, then you get them as a colony.
Cool.
You haven't met any though, right? You haven't met any yet though, right? The one with the minor empire is the only other system I've found so far. Oh, here's one. Satellite,
Yay.
Please. Ice. Gas and ice.
Currently, there's only. It looks like I'm at the end of the colony. I mean, at the end of the constellation. All the way up at the top there. So I now have. Yeah.
I need to colonize ice. Snow, Savannah, Arid.
So if I research. So that's this one, isn't it? Yep, next turn.
Nice, that's
and then that one will be the one after. And where on the screen is Tundra? Steps. No.
Tundra is going to be further down in. It might actually be in another.
It is. There's Barren.
I'm thinking Tundra is going to be in the Empire development side.
That's where I'm looking, but I don't see it. I see two of them. The Toxic.
Two eyes.
Barren. Over here. Ash. Gas. Can colonize a gas giant.
Mm-hmm.
Lava.
You just can't terraform it.
Oh, terraform.
Where the heck is the Tundra one?
Well, what would you terraform?
Accumulate the particles.
Yeah, but there wouldn't be any planet left.
Fusion reactions to. Well, I mean, there is a lot of gases in gas giants.
You heard him say it. There's a lot of gas.
There's a lot of gas, hence the name. So I know you can colonize Tundra. Where the heck is it?
Yeah, I don't see it anywhere. Tundra. Wherefore Alpha.
Oh, you should already have it. It's in the first level on the left of Science and Exploration. Yeah, you already have it.
So then why is the planet unavailable? Available, you cannot create multiple outposts in one system. I guess I gotta wait until the outpost is a colony and then I can get it.
Oh!
Yeah, it's unavailable, not inhospitable. So that's what that means.
Yeah. Yeah, because you can't use a colony ship for multiple outposts.
Can you do me a favor? Bring up the stream in your ears.
Okay, I'm gonna mute us.
And no, hold on. I want you to listen after I say these words to see if you can hear me doing what I'm doing right now, starting now. And ending now. Or is anybody listening? Could respond. See when it finally gets to them. Let's see.
All I heard was ending now. I didn't get there quite in time.
Okay, well, are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll start again now. Ending now.
I didn't hear anything.
Okay, my microphone says that it's picking up a slight sound when I push keys or I set things down on the desk.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything, either from Discord or through Twitch.
Okay.
I mean, that's good.
Yeah, I was just wondering because I've noticed. I noticed. I think it was on one of our multiplayer RimWorld streams. I think it was that I thought I could hear me hitting the keyboard when I was doing the the WASD.
Yeah.
So, which I keep wanting to do in here. I guess the up and down does the same thing. The arrows.
Okay.
But WASD doesn't do anything. I suppose I could remap them to do something.
Oh, in the game. Yeah, that's true. It'd be nice to map them so that they would, scoot the map. Yeah, I don't know if there are hotkeys saved by default.
In this game, yeah, there are. But for some reason, it's not.
One that I want, you know how in Civ you can use the greater than, less than symbols to scroll between units or towns or whatever, or I guess brackets is scroll between cities. I want to be able to scroll between when you're in the system view. You can use the mouse button to click on, like there's a greater than, less than symbol in the screen you can click on, but you can't.
So I'm making the change to the settings, and it shows in there that they've changed. But when I go, this is navigate. Maybe these are different. Right here, let's try this. There we go. There's a whole different section.
Yep, Galaxy
and battle.
Oh. That is nice.
So now let's try it. There we go.
Yeah, I think the navigate up and down is in screens where you would normally have to scroll.
That's better. Okay, finish your turn. I was saying that to me.
Oh.
You were already done. You were waiting on me this time. Technology stage unlocked. Woohoo! Okay, finished research.
And I overwrote our save game. I figure that's one of those things that's nice to do.
We can't go back to it.
I think that I don't know if it auto saves in multiplayer or not.
That was frustrating. I just want to fly by. You can have the planets. I don't care. So you kind of touched on it earlier, a little bit, but let's let's do a check-in because we haven't done one with you in a while. How's it going?
Sleep, my everlasting nemesis, is still my everlasting nemesis.
Mm-hmm.
It's been 4 or 5, maybe 6 days where I have actually been sleeping in one contiguous chunk for my sleep period, but it's late morning to evening. I've been trying
So
to
you're sleeping during the day.
Yeah. I've been trying to kick that back because that's not good. You know, it may be better than the 3 hours here, 6 hours there, 10 hours there. I don't know. But I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to kick it, and you helping me is, trying to commit to playing games is helpful.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for switching from City Skylines, but you did find that I was awake.
Well, I was still going to make you get on and talk to her.
If you had been playing City Skylines, I was very, very motivated to just go back to sleep.
No sleep. Discovered the planet Sahar. It first appears to be just another dry planet devoid of anything other than the simplest of life forms. Faint geometric patterns that beg to be investigated seem to be etched onto its surface. Initial scans indicate that the surface runes do not appear to be related to these patterns. There is clearly a story here of some form of civilization, but nothing remains that can be easily documented from orbit.
So, the planet Male Desert.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, so Sahara is desert. What's Sahara?
Sahara is desert. It's not masculine or feminine like in itself. The word is feminine, but it's not like a male desert. It's just the word has a gender, but the object itself is not.
No.
The gender is simply a function of grammar.
Gendered language. Yeah, it's totally a thing. Go ask the French.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Oh, did you hear? I think we talked about this weeks ago, a couple months ago maybe. How the French Bureau of Language Purity, that's not what it's actually called, I forget what it's called. But the Bureau of Language Purity made the change officially to allow for female gendered words that are profession words. So the way we say actress and actor, they had only had
the single French, the single word.
Yeah.
How very 20th century of them.
The French 20th century? Yeah, it's funny because in fashion and food, they're supposed to be trendsetters, but in language, they are very resistant to change.
You know, lots of love to my European friends, but Europe is not as forward-thinking as they think they are. Well, let's put it this way. They're not as forward-acting as they're forward-thinking.
That's a good point.
For example, I like them, dislike them, whatever. In this case, I'm thinking of our previous president. Like him, dislike him, whatever. You won't see a minority of any kind getting elected to any of the major leadership offices in Europe anytime soon. It's not going to happen. The environment is not right for that.
Well, I think there was a massive pendulum swing here in the U.S. There was a lot of...
Yay, incubator.
There was a lot of, I didn't like that voting this past presidential election, at least.
Well, I mean, they can, people can do that as much as they want, but the fact is, we
did it.
Twice.
Yeah. Yes. Cult of personality. That's what we've been doing.
I think.
Populism is on the rise. Although, I will say, I think that President Obama was a, even if he wasn't necessarily populist.
He was an extremely populist politician. His entire platform was based on populism.
But it's not like the populist culture shift happened after him, is what I was trying to say.
No, that happened about 100 years ago.
If it works, why?
I mean, that was essentially the platform that Woodrow Wilson ran on, and the progressives.
Mm-hmm.
That was their platform, was populism. They were very much a. Sorry, I'm looking for the word. One vote per one person thing. So the electoral college was an anathema to them. And state bodies were an anathema to them. They wanted everything to be controlled by a single central government. Individualism was an anathema to them. So people like Ayn Rand and determinism basically stemmed as a response.
As a result of
it was a response or a result of the major populist push of the Progressive Party in the teens and 20s. And we should also say that's the same movement that committed democide against anyone who was of a minority that they didn't like, or of a mental background that they didn't like. So anyone they deemed as being dumb or retarded, they basically removed their ability to procreate. That was the Progressive Party.
I'm trying to think. There was something the Supreme Court punted recently. I think it was Indiana's abortion laws. It was kind of, maybe it was Texas laws? I don't remember. But the
Maybe
Supreme Court just
Alabama.
punted something down the road, and one of the references that the conservative vote, because there was very few comments offered, like how they some of the justices will write opinions. There was very few opinions written, which was odd. But one of the conservative opinions written, I think it was from Justice Clarence Thomas.
All that man ever does is write.
Yeah,
He never speaks.
likened abortion to eugenics.
Well, I mean, that's a bit of a. I mean, it can be. It depends on how you. It depends on your interpretation of it. It can be.
It's contextual.
If you have a system that provides that service at a free or reduced cost to a specific target group only, and everyone else you keep the price at the regular, as the result is that the one group uses it more than the other group. I could see that argument, and Clarence Thomas, for all the naysayers and who disliked him when he was first appointed, is not a dumb person.
You can't get to the Supreme Court being dumb. Like, at least in today's political climate in the U.S., that is not possible.
No, you can't. They have different ways of using that intelligence, different ways of interpreting it. You know, the things. But you can't get to that level if you're not. But I mean, I remember the things. If you go back and look at the response from the opposite side of the aisle to his nomination and the things they said about him. Oh man, it was filthy, dirty, middle school, I hate you tactics. It was nasty. It was all the things that, all the negative sides to socialization in public schools. That was it. I mean, they were vicious to him. And I mean, he's actually the example I give my daughter when I talk about how you should respond to people who are saying things about you or at you that you don't like. Like, they did this to him. This was the early 90s, early to mid 90s, I think was when he was nominated. And he's now, so we're like 25 years later, he's still there. And the thing he's known for is not talking. And so that's the example I give my daughter. Is like, they said so many bad, mean things about him, but look at his response. He didn't respond. And every single one of them eventually lost their interest and moved on.
I really, really, really don't like the dirt politics that is predominant here.
Yeah, but it's not just here; it's everywhere. Politics is a filthy, dirty
Anytime
game.
there's-
It's politics is the art of convincing people to give them power to give you power over them,
over that,
which is but no one wants to say it that way.
yeah.
But that's essentially what it is. And if there was a politician who would just be honest about that, say, look, this is what I want to do with the power that you're going to give me, I'd appreciate that. Like, okay, well, at least you're being honest about what it is. You're asking for power. I can appreciate that. Blunders.
Yeah, the "I'm here for you" is very.
No. There's only one thing. It's like chat and Twitch Toolkit with RimWorld. There's only one thing that you can count on for chat and Twitch Toolkit is that they will look out for their own entertainment. Always. Politicians, there's only one thing you can count on them for, to look out for themselves, because they want to be reelected. Which is why it hasn't gotten bad enough yet for it to become an issue, but eventually someone is going to raise the term limits for senators and congressmen who basically go to DC and then just live there for 20 to 40 years.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's been raised in some states,
yeah,
but not enough to even approach not even enough for it to be petitioned to the Supreme Court.
How you doing, Blunders? Nice to see you. We're playing some Endless Space and talking about random things. I think Chalice Micah succeeded in distracting me from the topic, which was, how are you doing? So, how did we get off on that topic?
I've been a little bit more social. I actually went and had lunch with my ex-wife.
Whoa. How's she doing?
She's doing
You can accept
great,
it.
but I mean, I always knew that she would.
Yeah, you're going to discover, Blunders, that neither of us has a tolerance for BS. So.
For BS?
Yeah, he said he likes.
Politics. Oh yeah.
I can accept the political discussion as accurate. Neither of us has much, patience for BS, or wasting my time.
We're a lot closer. We're much more closely aligned now than we were when we first started really talking to each other. But even back then, we could talk about politics, and we both agreed on enough things like BS is BS. That it was functional.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you're fine. So, yeah. So you went out and had lunch with somebody. That's cool. I did that a couple weeks ago. I went out and I met with someone who wanted to see how we were doing, if there was any way they could help us.
Oh, nice.
And of course, every Saturday I go out to the mall to do dog training.
Mm-hmm.
Cynicism and stark realism are close cousins, though. You're not wrong.
That's true.
You're not wrong.
I have some pirates.
I don't trust politicians of any ilk. It doesn't matter if I agree or disagree with them, if I voted for them, I didn't vote for them. I can trust politicians. I trust politicians to do one thing, and that's look out for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I have encountered very, 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 very few politicians in my experiences. As the exception. Ron Paul would be one of those, and I'm not as familiar with him, but I also think Bernie Sanders would fall into that category. Not so convinced about Rand as much, Ron Paul's son, but there are very few that are genuinely selfless, and to a point, to make it in. I mean, it's the whole Game of Thrones thing. You either play or you win, which, I mean, I guess. Well, no, is it you either win or you die? That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So now we can colonize monsoons. Okay, people, go into the system. What do we got here? We have Aina, or Aina, whatever. Aina 1, inhospitable, lava, desert, binary moons, colonizable, large arid, because I researched that. Atoll, nice. And man, I got a lot of systems that I could colonize. I feel like you're describing many of the criticisms of populist movements. Well, I mean, that's actually what started this, was populism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was bringing up how it's not a brand new thing with this round of politics. And Guthron was pointing out that it's been around for a really long time.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, Woodrow Wilson wanted to rewrite the Bill of Rights entirely. And he wanted to take out the things that are in there and put in things like you have the right to housing. Stuff like that. Would have completely gutted it. All the things that are there now would have been taken out. So all of your First Amendment protections, gone. Fourth Amendment, gone. Fifth Amendment, gone. Second Amendment, totally gone.
Yeah, the concept of basic liberties.
Yeah, all gone. I did so just so people know, full disclosure here, I did my master's thesis on Woodrow Wilson and the effect that his latent racism, and in some cases blatant racism, had on his decisions at the Versailles Peace Treaty that then set the world up for what happened in the following 20 years. As an example, he refused to interact with anybody who was not white, or at the very least, could not speak English.
We are the reason for World War II, if you look at it from that
the Europeans are the reason World War II happened. The Europeans are the reason. I will never absolve Europeans for the difficulties that they caused on the world, because if you look at history, almost every major thing that's happened in the past 1,000 years, worldwide over, has been Europe's fault. Okay. So, I mean, they can try to point the finger at us as much as they want. All I gotta say is the only reason we're here is because you guys decided to cross that body of water and stick your head in here.
Yeah, I mean, you can say, well, what about nuclear weapons? But wasn't I saying Germany?
I mean, the Brits were just as involved in that.
Yeah,
the Germans were also doing it.
The U.S. may have finished it.
Because we had the money. We had the money and the infrastructure. I'll go with this one right here. But as the example I was going to give about about Woodrow Wilson at the conference was, he had the opportunity at one point, because of the whole self-determination concept. Everybody was trying to get there, to have their moments with the conference, to be heard, because of self-determination. We're coming from all over the world. And there was a Vietnamese, I think he was working as a butler at the time, gentleman who was there, who went to the conference to petition to have the French. Zoe, do that way. I'm at the Riftborn. So he went to the conference to petition to have the French thrown out of Indochina. And when it was found out that he couldn't speak English, he couldn't even speak English, and he wasn't white, Woodrow Wilson said, nope, not wasting my time with him. So the guy left, obviously dejected. He went drinking, fell into a rally. It turned out to be a communist rally, because they were growing at the time in Paris. And he changed his name to Ho Chi Minh and went back to Vietnam and founded the Viet Cong Party. Yeah. To throw the French out. That was how we got to the Viet. That was so. Now, does that mean that they wouldn't have found some other way to start that party? That's a what if. What we do know is Woodrow Wilson had the opportunity to at least hear the man out, the man who became Ho Chi Minh, and who started that revolt against the French that dragged us into trying to fix their problems for them. And yeah, and it was because
down in history.
And it was strictly because the guy wasn't white and he couldn't speak English.
So I am trying to find. I've sent out some probes. I'm trying to find a short, some sort of a short route over towards your constellation, but I have yet to find a route to a constellation.
Zoe, please. Here. Appreciate. Is eagerly in here trying to do her chores so she can play something on my DS. Well, they couldn't self-determine in 1943 or 44, so how would they self-determine in 1960 or 64? Well, yes, but the problem was they started they started trying to self-determine in prior to that. I mean, we went to Vietnam in the 50s, in the late 50s initially to help the French, and as soon as we got there, the French said bye and abandoned the place to us, and then we spent the next 2 decades there, just trying to clean that mess up. And finally said, "Screw this! We're getting out of here. We're done. We're done trying to clean up your mess, France."
Oh, you mean self-determination on a national scale?
On a national,
like on a international scale.
No,
rather.
you know what? And I don't think there's a people group on this planet that could actually self-determine. Not as they're just. The concept itself was such a red herring. It's like the definition of a MacGuffin in a story. If I know if Charles Mike is familiar with it, for those who are listening,
Brand MacGuffin.
huh?
Brand MacGuffin.
Yeah. For those who are not familiar with it, MacGuffin is something that exists in the story simply to move the story forward. It has no other purpose. So, like the Allspark in the first Transformers movie. Game of Thrones, Bran, he was essentially a MacGuffin throughout the entire story. That was the only reason he existed. It was that's its function, and it's a trope, but it is because it's a common thing. It's just there to be there. It has no other purpose in the story. Then at this moment, we just need something to push the story forward. It doesn't mean it can't be useful. It doesn't mean it can't become an important part of the story. The example I like to give is the Rose of the Prophets, where the writers had the problem of their hero was about to go die, and they had no reason to keep them alive, and the one writer called the other writer and said, "Our hero's about to die," and the other writer said, "Well, give him this object, and we'll figure it out later."
Mm-hmm. That was the Margaret Weiss and Tracy.
Yep, and that's a MacGuffin, and that MacGuffin was later an integral part of the story. It became something more in the story, but had nothing else happened to it? So, yeah. Self-determination was essentially his MacGuffin to get people to talk about things that he wanted, which was a League of Nations. That was what he wanted. He wanted the ability to mandate to other countries how they were going to rule themselves, because he genuinely believed he knew best. Oh, it goes into the... Oh, okay. That makes sense. I didn't realize you could take the anomalies that were in your system and just put them in your queue.
Oh, yeah. All right. Quest anomalies usually require a hero.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't a quest anomaly. The scientists, they're in the lead. Yay! For a scientific society, I'd be shocked if it was anything different.
Yeah.
So, colony in one turn. in sarcasm. You're funny, Blunders. But even now, I don't think people truly understand enough to be able to do it. That concept. Blunders. That self-determination help folks to connect with a concrete manifestation, choose how to live your life of an abstract construct, cast off the bonds of tyranny. That's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it. But it was still a tool. It was still a tool of a politician to just put another form of those bonds on people. Mm-hmm. You want
lengthen
the. We've touched on this subject before. Brexit. Brexit is essentially a group of people saying we don't want the bonds of a tyranny, in this case, old white guys living in Brussels telling us folks in the backcountry of England how to live our lives. That's self-determination. Yet we look at them like they're a bunch of idiots. But I mean, it fits that definition that he just gave right there, which is a very good definition of self-determination. And that is essentially what the voters in England did when they voted to leave the EU. So, oh, you stupid pirates.
I don't know, yeah, it always comes back down to the same question. You know, on every level of politics, from, you know, how you interact with your neighbors, you know, things like neighborhood watch, or even homeowners associations.
Homeowners associations can be some of the worst.
Yeah. It depends on whether they're private for-profit or whether they're non-profit, all proceeds go back to... Or whether
I think it's more complicated. They're asking for old white men who have their same accent and ancestors to tell them what to do. Well, that's fine. That's still self-determination. Do you think that the guys who were marching to Paris in 1919 and 1920 wanted to say anything else? I mean, that's what they were saying. When the guy who became Ho Chi Minh walked into the doors at Versailles and said, I want to self-determine for my people, that's what he was saying. I want people who look like me and speak like me, all that stuff like that, to determine for us who's going to be in charge, not you guys. And that's the reason pretty much every war that's ever happened is people saying to another group, we think we know how to do better than you, and we're just going to come in and do it, and you're just going to have to live with it. Sure, but you weren't saying that racism and other forms of prejudice are the tools of tribalism. Well, that is also true. Launch the probes and then run for your lives. Well, not run for your lives. Oh, construction Vorta. I established a colony.
Oh. Ooh.
Yep.
Nice.
And I can colonize every planet in the system.
Very nice.
Because of the research queue. Oh, I have two degrees in history, so I like getting the information right, and I like discussing it, and I don't like disagreeing.
You try to find common ground.
Try to find common ground because there's lots of ways for. I mean, part of the reason why we have the kind of the system we have is it thrives on conflict, I guess. So people like to complain about the how do you put it, the difficulties of getting a body like the American Congress to do something, you know, the do nothing Congress. Unfortunately, that system is working exactly the way it's supposed to. It's supposed to be hard to do things.
The idea is you shouldn't implement changes unless it's so necessary
that everybody
agrees.
Blatantly agrees about it. And other than that, everything should be I don't want to say adversarial, but it should be in a way that keeps big, fast, sweeping changes from happening, which is the definition of populist movements. And that's kind of what Woodrow Wilson wanted when he was pushing the progressive platform, was we need to get rid of these restrictions so that we can just make the changes we want to make.
Which is great if you have somebody that's trying to make changes that you agree with, but then when the next person comes in and tries to make changes you don't agree with,
yep, exactly,
it's still great.
It's the whole, you guys think it's a good idea right now when you control, this was back in, say, I think it was 2015, I think it was. You guys thought it was great then to remove the limitations of the minority party to filibuster things in the Senate. And then 2 years later, when all of a sudden everything was in the hands of the other party and you couldn't filibuster anymore, you're like, oh, now we see why the minority party before was saying we shouldn't do this. What do you want me to research? What do I need to research? Arctic. Let's see what planets I have. That's how I'm going to base it. What planets am I going to be able to colonize next? Arctic. Arctic. Yep. Answers that question. That Arctic? No, that's ice. I don't want that. I need Arctic.
See, I had to go to ice because one of the places that I'll be able to colonize once I clear the pirates out is ice.
I'm going to just do that one for now because I'm not sure what else I'll be able to do after that. But I mean, the third system that I've put an outpost in has 2 Arctic planets. It makes no sense to not do that. So.
Yeah, I have super spuds.
What do we have here? Rigel. Small ash. Who would want to colonize an ash world?
People from the Mistborn trilogy.
Would they want to though? They could because they're used to it, but would they want to?
Yeah, I could colonize.
Expedition trapped. Ambushed by pirates. Yay. New event, Breathe Deep. We have a battle. I may have asked about this before, but have either of you played with Universe Sandbox? You have asked about it before. You shared me that YouTube channel. I subscribed to it, and I've been seeing his videos appear in my thing.
I have not played with it. I've seen... Who is it that plays that? Is it Silver Zodiac, or is it Magnus?
The Universe Sandbox?
Yeah.
Neither of them. I've never seen either of them playing it. I've played it, because I own it. It's actually very fun, and going through because when you start, it actually walks you through how to do different things. It's like, let's make a pulsar, let's make this. So it tells you what to do, so you can see how, and it's showing you how to make things that we already know. And then after that, then you can start having fun, just like what will happen if. You can take Earth and say what will happen if this were to happen, and have fun with it. Yeah, play Q, exactly. Okay, we're having a battle. I didn't realize it was a full-on thing before, which is why I was skipping it on stream, but here, let's have a battle.
The battles or the Universe Sandbox stuff?
The battles. No, the Universe Sandbox is actually, and especially if you're learning, if you have someone who's learning astronomy, I cannot recommend it enough. It's great.
Have you noticed the correlation between tactics and the range of your weapons?
Haven't done it as much, but
I mean, did you notice?
I noticed that this time I was extremely overpowering against this thing.
Yeah.
So I'm just watching the battle right now.
Excuse me.
Hey, don't hit my ship. You're shooting my ship. That's not allowed.
I think so it seems like they repair slowly over time, but it's an unpleasant amount of time that it takes to repair stuff. I almost always just end up paying to repair crap. Ooh, they're almost dead. No, can't really tell. It looked like...
No, I'd say it's like it's sitting at the same... It's slowly moving in my favor. They're all shooting from long range. And it doesn't look like...
Yeah, that's why I was asking about the tactics and ranges.
When I was looking at the 2 different tactic choices I had, it didn't change what it was predicting to be.
No, it won't.
Yeah.
I mean, it functionally does change it, but it won't reflect the change in that screen. And you can also speed up the...
I know. I'm just enjoying it.
Wait, you're enjoying watching a battle?
I don't have to do anything.
I thought that you didn't like watching mine. I thought you didn't like watching mine.
Yeah, what, the Civ ones?
No, these battles.
No, I didn't say that. I said it before. I mean, before I wasn't watching them just because I don't remember why, but in this case, it's. I mean, I can just basically sit here and watch this happen and talk, and it's something entertaining. It's different than just us sitting here going turn by turn, system to system.
Yeah. It's a draw.
Yeah. Well, I don't plan on staying there, so.
Yeah.
I think for now I'm going to send this fleet this direction. And goal. But yes, so blunders, to go back to what you were talking about. If you have kids who are really interested in space or have expressed some interest in it, then I recommend that if you have a game, especially if you have a system that can really, handle it. It's a bit of a resource hog. I need to get some. After I finish doing all of this colonizing research, I need to do some changes to the ship. I attempted to have a meetup for Portland area streamers to share information on how to support folks who are having emotional crises while visiting your stream. Well, that's nice.
Yeah. That'd be fantastic.
Well, for sure, there's also this. The number, the Veterans Crisis thing that gets shared on the stream up there above me, that's actually the National Suicide Hotline. So that's, it just has, if you press 1, I think is what it says. If you press 1, it allows you to go in the, it takes you in there for veterans, stuff like that. But that's the number one resource for people who are immediately in crisis. Outside of that, it's going to depend on where they are and what they need and what the situation is. There's always resources available, and depending on where you are, official support, yes, an option. A dive bomb by above. And I'll of course I have access to friends who are or relationships with counselors who have said that they would be available if people needed to talk to someone immediately. So, and I actually have training in crisis intervention counseling, so if someone was immediately in crisis, I could exit from the stream and take them into a channel on Discord to talk to them, but it's better to do it in person. That's cool. I'm putting together stuff that could be a resource for other streamers, perhaps to be put on YouTube. That's actually something I do need to expand out, is like a resource section for people who are in need of things. It really depends on what they need in terms of a crisis. One of the things they taught us in chaplain assistance school was keep a huge supply of resources that you can refer people to. Because you never know who's going to need what when. Blunders, did you join my Discord? I think the bot has shared it a couple of times, but I'll do this. And if you join that, and so that you're in there, that way we can I can find you. Cool. And we can chit-chat offline about what you were just talking about. Not that I don't want to talk about it here, it's just if you want to talk about coordinating things, we can talk about that more there rather than just right now. So yeah, this says, I just saw the thing go by, it does say National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. So there is one of those, and I think there's a separate one that says for veterans, and it's press 1, but it's the exact same phone number. For veterans, there's a lot of resources. I also refer people to Military One Source because they have counseling services of all kinds. So depending on what's causing the crisis, if if they're having difficulties, financially and just need advice on what to do, Military One Source is a good source for that. If they need to know what's in their area, or what's available to them as a veteran, or maybe they're a reservist or whatever, that's a great one. So, but it's just Military One Source, I think that's the link. Well, I had a browser open. Where did it go? There it is. Yep. Yeah. What I need to do is make a page that I can just post a command for that has a list of resources, broken down by what it could be used for.
Yeah.
But you'd be surprised at how many people I've met, both currently still in or after or out, that don't know about Military One Source. It always surprises me. It's like, how do you not know about them?
It takes a unit recognizing that there's a problem and posting things everywhere. Like, if you remember in our office, back when we were working shift work together, there was those magnets everywhere.
Yeah. Well, it's because they got them. Well, and I've found, in my experience, has been that in the units, it's easier to just refer people elsewhere to get their problems taken care of.
Yeah. Like, you're not my problem. Go get help.
Yeah. You find that they talk about a lot of those resources like that on purpose, because it's easier to refer you to someone else. So I don't have to deal with you. Cool. So that.
Yeah, it functions almost identically to private insurance that just covers all the costs. Oh, I finally found a...
Hold on. Oh, that's for temperate, so that would be good.
So I found another constellation to the left of me. I might be able to go through to get to you.
Oh, that's nice. Here. So. And then up here. Do I need to worry about that just yet? No,
oh, I can't go until I've researched warp.
Unavailable as a pirate. I need to get rid of them before I can do anything about that. No, not ready on that. About to go out there. Somebody put an outpost in colony down here.
Can you get a ship down there in time to?
Right now this is the fleet that just dealt with those pirates. It was just facing those pirates, so it looks like. I mean, I can try to go back. I can go back and see what's there, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to do anything about an outpost on the ground. Yeah, I doubt a lot of that is conscious, though. Discomfort with mental health problems is fairly endemic. Distances ourselves from sick people is commonplace. Practically speaking, it might be wiser to have those sorts of resources be external from assist, and even if it feels like rejection. Yeah, I don't disagree. I think that a major flaw in the way our military has existed for a long time is that it's so insular, away from the outside eyes. And I think that anytime outside eyes start sticking their nose in places, that it makes the military uncomfortable. They don't like dealing with that. I know for a fact that commanders do not like being told by someone who's not in the military, let alone people in the military. It's like they don't like being told by people. Let me say that again. They don't like being told how to manage their people by other people in the military. Because a commander is, these are my people, you leave me alone. Unless you outrank me and then you have to have authority and then whatever. But you take someone who's a civilian organization and have them step in and tell a commander how to manage people.
Oh, okay.
They'll say all the right words and do nothing. I mean, they had to have at Ramstein, they had to have an outside civilian agency come in and assess the effect of the shift schedule that the DGS commander there had put on them. And they came in with the authority to make a decision, and the commander had to abide by it.
Oh, wow.
And they basically ordered him to change the shifts because he was on a path to break people. This is the same commander who, when he was the commander of DGS-1, DGS-1 had the highest suicide rate in not the military, but I know the Air Force. And as soon as he left, it dropped. So they say, you're on the same path again. That commander is now the commander of the 480th ISR wing. See? So even though there's outside agencies saying this commander makes bad decisions, they still promoted him.
Yep.
I didn't realize it was waiting for me.
Oh, you're fine.
Okay, so what do we have going on? Can I do anything? I don't know if I can do anything about the outpost.
The pirate outpost?
No, it's the rival outpost.
The only thing you can do is if you have...
I don't.
If you have a colony ship, if you want to really piss them off, you can... there is something you can do, but you don't want to do it.
No, I don't.
So if you set the ship to guard,
yeah.
As soon as you see one of their supply ships come in, you can attack it.
Yeah, it's a colony. It's an outpost on its way to being a colony. I'm just gonna leave it be. It's pretty far from me, and there are pirates between me and them anyway, so I'll worry about them later. So, for those of you that managed to catch yesterday's stream, I figure I should give you guys an update. I am feeling better today, unlike yesterday. I did feel better by the end of stream, and I did manage to have therapy despite us having a tornado shelter-in-place warning.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I had to throw the cats in the closet. They weren't too happy about that, and I grabbed the dog and we went and sat in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it passed before my appointment. So
Good.
I think the problem, because the problem isn't just not feeling productive.
Mm-hmm.
So I get to the end of the day and I just feel like everything is, and then of course yesterday, having gone through all of that and all that difficulty and stuff, I get to the end of the day and my wife comments, by the way, you got the wrong bread, right? I can't have this. So we have 4 loaves of bread in the refrigerator that basically my wife can't have any.
Oh.
And I thought when they gave it to me, I thought when I was first pulled the stuff off the shelf that I'd grabbed the wrong one initially, and I went back and changed it. But no, I'd had the right one initially. I was overthinking it. Because that never happens.
What?
So, yeah, I was not feeling it yesterday. Pardon me. So today I didn't get as much as I would have liked to get done this morning on the creative project, but I did get it done. I went through and made some changes that needed to be made to the overall story arc to allow to make the ending, I don't want to say more powerful, but to just make more sense.
Mm-hmm.
Connect all the things together correctly. So I was able to do that, and now I just need to do the episode arc for the first episode and write a sample for it. But I didn't want to start that knowing that there was still world development stuff that I was going to need to do.
Yeah.
So down here, see what's down here. So pirates in this system down here that we're going to have to take care of. So going to need to design
Yay,
some
got my
more
next
ships.
colony.
Woot. Okay, so cooperative quest complete by an unknown empire. But hey, I got
They were not close enough to me to do anything.
no, but I got actually like second place, I guess.
Are you light blue?
Yeah.
Hey, nice.
I don't know how I got it.
Exploring specific atmospheric anomalies.
Cool. I'll take the resources. Military ships decrease in price. Bad. Not bad. Always nice. New event, Slingshot. Minus 20% fleet health on fleet. Minus 2 movement points. Your fleet enters the system Yakima and is barely slowed from super light speed when a belt of rocks circling one of the planets starts to peel off and head towards you on a carefully calibrated collision course.
That doesn't sound good.
I'll just do the minus to movement. That's easy enough. Let's see the system. Okay, so lava, inhospitable. Large desert. Large desert. Huge savanna. Small Mediterranean. 5 planets. Anomaly right here. Plus 25 influence. And we have another one down here. Thank you, Guthron-bot, as always, is an extra live stream. And you can see up there at the top, I'm 40% of the way to my first goal for the year.
Nice.
I think I need to wait till next turn. Yep. No, we're staying here. For the moment. So, and you can find out more. Also, we'll go ahead and put that in. Thing for it. Alright, so what the 12, so we got about 15 minutes.
Okay, it's not bad.
I think I've got most of this colony explored, although I think there might be more going down this way, which is where this constellation, not colony, where this civilization came from. Purple, that's who I've run into. The Riftborn, I think, is who they are.
They're not. I've seen them be kind of hit or miss in terms of mean versus not so mean.
Yeah. Well, I mean, before I can even think about dealing with them in any way, shape, or form, I need to deal with these pirates.
Yes. Yeah.
Before I can even think about that, I gotta finish my research tree. I'm one turn away from this. That. Go make a couple This antimatter reshield. Repair. Protection. Quadrant. Need additional manpower that does the
What are you trying to find?
thing that allows me to carry more troops in case I have to land.
It is, yeah, exactly, O2G delivery gear.
New event, babies, not booms. Florida is experiencing a growth spurt. Okay, so what is it? Delivery gear, O2G delivery gear? Okay, cool. I'm gonna put that in the queue next.
It's a support module.
Yeah, I see it. I just wasn't sure if that was the one that said, if that was the one that covered that.
Yeah.
That was all.
Until you get bigger, different types of hulls, I think your colony ship, you'll have to use that hull type.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I did last time.
Okay.
Colonize and colonize. Ooh, 20 turns to colonize that planet. I'm gonna do all the other stuff first. But I mean, that's three planets in that system.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one is gonna have 4. And then my initial system also is completely colonized. So 4 and 4 and 3. That's not bad for a base.
Mm-mm.
I'm happy with that. Oh, what is it? Oh, that's right. I have a ship. And nothing yet. So next turn. There's an anomaly there I want to scan before I leave.
Nice.
And head back.
You have colonized 8 planets within your empire.
Yes.
Studier of worlds.
Woo-hoo.
Very nice.
I got 75 Jade Onyx. Come on, guys. You could come up with a better name than mixing Jade and Onyx.
Plus, every time your score goes up, your border pressure on other cities goes up too.
Deserted Cities Anomaly completed. 25 influence. Nice. New luxury resource, Jade Onyx. We have some population growth, and we colonized Forta.
Nice.
Yes.
I just assimilated a minor faction, so I have another colony now.
Cool.
Happy.
Oh no. Let's see. Let's do that, and then let's. I want to send this fleet all the way back to my base so I can dump this hero.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I'm gonna go. Where'd they go? Come here, ship. Shippity ship. Where are you? There you are. Give me the ship. Changing your destination. You should go there. I did that already.
I should have my 4th colony, my 4th system.
Somebody.
In a couple terms.
I was gonna ask if that, like, Blunders, I was gonna ask if that was you. Looking at the chat, the names in chat. In Discord. Like, I wonder if that's Blunders. I see you. Oh. That's it. Go ahead, do your thing. Fly away. Repo Reality is done. Technology Stage 2 unlocked. Going to need the technology. Is this one support module for that? Necessarily want that one just yet. Resource improvement, main gain. Now, if I really want to be able to land and do something like that, I'm going to need to do N-Wave Fusion, won't I? I'll need something like the chain gang program.
No, so do you see how on N-Wave Fusion the chain, are you talking about for chain gang or impervious bunkers?
Chain gang.
So no. When you build ships, it pulls manpower for the crew from your stock of manpower,
Okay.
but your planets are always slowly reaccumulating.
Nice.
So chain gang is a quick way to restock manpower, but it's always doing it anyway.
Okay. I'm going to decide what improvement I want next for my ship. The next ship design I'm going to do. I think I'm going to actually go for efficient shielding and get 2 new ship designs. Since I'm not ready to do the fight anyway, I might as well take the moment, take the 4 turns, and get the new ship design. Because it's going to take my 1 fleet that's out there right now, it's going to take them 4 turns just to approach that system where the pirates are, so they can fly by it.
Man.
This constellation is long, okay? Look, okay, so I'm going to hold it right there on the stream so you can see how long it is.
I can see,
Yeah, it's, yeah. And that's not even all of it. There's more that goes down along the bottom. Opening your doors to new population types has its challenge, but it has its rewards. Gain. Cool. I got pilgrims. Everyone's welcome in my empire. Like pirates have put something down in this system. Trying to push influence on my fleet from my system. That would, I don't know. Guess we'll find out when my fleet gets there and turns around and leaves.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I was wrong. I think, well, I guess your ships are different. I can put landing parties on my patrol ships.
Mm-hmm. No, like they're whoever this is I think they intentionally went as far as they could and put an outpost out so that they could backtrack. Yeah, because the both of those systems all those systems down there that I went down and looked at are now they all have rival outposts in them.
The Void people tend to spread quickly, so you'll want to get as many outposts out as you can. I mean, but that's just the general rule of thumb that I would suggest. Not that you have a lot of choice in it.
Yeah, I mean, right now my next options for outposts is the one where the pirates are. Outside of that, then I would have to go down here to Octans, because there's nothing in Pavo that will allow me to. So they essentially by taking those, putting outposts in those in Rigel and Nikima, have sucked up like 3 of the 4 remaining systems that had colonizable planets in them.
Man.
So it's okay. It happens. My systems will be fully colonized. And no rival outposts landing on my planets. No, ignoring it. Everyone's mad because of the immigrants. Somebody, Green, has discovered the academy.
Mm. Have you met that? No, you haven't. Met
No,
that Green.
I haven't met. I've only met the Void.
Yeah.
The Void people.
Red is between you and I. Ooh, I have now gained control over this constellation. Because I have 1, 2, 3, 4 systems colonized now.
Yeah.
And in a few turns,
I think
I'll have.
if they, whoever this one is, they've now colonized Aina. If they follow their pattern and put an outpost in Octans, I think at that point they would control this constellation. So, but I don't. Next turn, I'm gonna get the new design ship, so I can start designing. I'm gonna, a drop ship and then a heavier fighter ship.
Yeah. Okay, so I can now travel across. I can travel outside hyperlanes now, so I'm going to send somebody over.
Now, what technology allowed you to do that?
I think it's a technology level rather than technology itself. Let me see. Yeah, so in science and exploration, you just have to reach level 2.
Oh, well, yeah, that's because it's the ability to go to a system that you've already flown by. Because I've done that. I mean, I know about that, but I mean,
if you can see it.
If you can see it, then you can get to it. Okay. That's what I was wondering.
But when I found that next constellation over, I at that time hadn't reached the second stage.
Toxic gas bearing. Yeah, I need to actually bump this incubator up to the top, because if that's the case, then I should be able to fly across from Vorda over to Dorado, and at least because that's outside of our constellation, and get them.
You'll get that quest that wants you to orbit.
Mm-hmm. We have laws. Okay, so now I've got the ship design. Ice, I don't need that. Desert, I don't need that just yet. This would allow me to do the other one. 7 turns. I should do this one first. That's gonna go faster than doing that other one. They are turns away. You guys fly on. And now I need to go into ship. Oh, walls. Star Boogie Bill.
Yeah, that's a fun name.
I'm gonna go with that one for now. Okay, so now ship design. This. What is that? Tesla's got. ultra dense slugs. Horrible over long range. Plasma beams. This reactive plating. Okay, nice. It's a tank.
And then, as you're updating, if you'll notice, some of the pictures are slightly different, the ones that are on the ship, from the ones that you see on the ship design options.
Mm-hmm.
And if you'll notice, there's a toggle that says Show Obsolete Modules. As you progress through the ranks, your stuff on your ship can be slightly upgraded. So it may look the same, but look very carefully because they're not necessarily the same.
Yeah.
And obviously the upgraded stuff is better. And then you can update your hero ships as well, but they have to be in an orbit.
Yeah.
They have to be orbiting around one of your systems. And then in terms of like the colored ones, it requires,
It requires
matching
that
color
thing,
of
yeah.
strategic resources. And then the more, so like for the landing, I'm looking at you doing landing stuff. The more of those you put on, the more personnel there'll be.
Okay. Cool. Now, build some.
I also, one of the reasons why I wasn't able to knock out pirate bases when I was telling you in my tutorial is I didn't understand the siege function.
Mm-hmm.
You essentially have to keep combat ships in orbit around a planet. The more ships, the more siege power you have.
Okay.
You have to keep them around a system to knock out their defenses before you even bother trying to go in.
Cool. Be nice if I got another hero. So now you guys should fly almost all the way to that system. Finished my turn. 2 turns for that. All right, so it's 2:30. So this is where I'm going to cut the stream for now.
Oh, dang, quick.
Cellist Mike, thanks for joining me today.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess we'll see you next week on stream.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And next week, I think, is when we're going to start the next hot potato for the Pixel Sharks. And it's going to be...
what day?
I'll be doing it on Monday. I'll start
Nice.
Monday. So it'll be me on Monday, and then I think you're on Wednesday.
Okay, yeah.
So I'll be back tomorrow. I'm not sure what I'm going to play. We'll see. It'll be up in the air. It will also... everyone will be home, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah. So speaking of the hot potato, I'm going to cast a host now for Wojess. He is playing the hot potato season 2, and the guy who had it before her started the ship.
So does he?
I don't know. It says
this is their last chance.
Yes. This is if she drops it, it's over. Like they're not going. They're declaring the season over. If she launches, then obviously the season's over. Now, it could take her entire stream, and they may not launch it. But that's what I'm gonna go over there and see.
Yeah.
So.
And they do play Merciless. So.
Well, I don't think they're doing Merciless. I know that 2D Curia was doing Savage, and she got, roughed up trying to launch the ship. So
when I
they mean
keep thinking
commitment
that they
mode.
have to do Merciless, I'm thinking of Stu's money run.
Oh no, you're thinking of Warren's money run.
Oh, okay.
Stu is he's the madness one.
Oh.
Likes to do the crashed ship scenario. So, okay, so I'll be back with you in just a second, Chalice Mike. So
All right.
go take care of yourself, and I'll see you in a bit.
Okie dokes.
So, and everybody else, I will be back tomorrow. Not sure what I'm going to play. I'll decide. I mean, I may go back and just play some cities so I can finish putting the roads down on that city I was working on Monday. So, stay tuned to the Discord for updates on that. Whether if it's going to change or anything, that's where I post it. I don't post it anywhere else. So, I will see you guys tomorrow or over in Jess's stream. Have yourselves a good day. Thanks everybody for tuning in, for chit-chatting, for hanging out, and being here. I'll talk to you later. Bye.